Okay, here we go.
Recorded live.
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Brother Manifestation, Gabriel Alexander Carbo, and we're here tonight to discuss and find out about the HoodX Lits, hoodx.com. You know, we have one of the creators of the Lits and the CEO and creative director of hoodx.com, K. Blau, on the line today to enlighten us. How you doing, K. Blau?
I'm cool, man. What up? What up? What up? What up?
Yeah. There's a lot of electricity going on right now in the air, bro.
Yeah. That's that means it's our time.
That's right.
That means it's our time.
That's right. I'm interested on this HoodX. I found out about it a couple months ago on from brother Tony Robinson L. I heard y'all on you and brother Pomatic on Underground Railroad, and it was intriguing and interesting, you know, what I heard. And then you know, I got busy with life and whatnot, and it wasn't until this last 2 or 3 weeks that I really got immersed in the HoodX universe, and that's why we're very lucky to have you here to let us know what is HoodX and what are the Lits.
Yeah. Well, the HoodX, the original HoodX started out a whole different essence of what it is now. It's a whole different meaning. The original HoodX was it started back around 2001, which was me and my partner Wisdom. His name is Wisdom. He's in Providence, Rhode Island, and we started just learning how to make music. We was learning how to record. We was really hustling. That's when we really started. We was just hustling more than anything. But like we was using the music as an excuse to hustle because like we didn't give a damn. We was just hustling. So we was just trying to make money. We was grimy as hell. We was just grimy. And over time, you know, as hustling, and at the time of what was going on, the stuff with the music was changing as far as the whole music industry was changing with 50 Cent, and he had just got signed to Aftermath and not Rough Riders. He had just got signed to Eminem and Dr. Dre. So that at the time the mixtape game was taking off, and there was a lot of ways to make money just selling mixtapes. I don't know if you remember that era, but like
right.
Some people who know that
everyone
era
was blowing up on
like, right, everybody, you could just put out a mixtape and make a crap load of money. And like that's when we kind of started off, and we followed the method of a lot of the musicians, especially D Block at the time, like the Locks had turned into D Block, they movement, and then the Dipset movement, Dipset with Cameron, like they started, a lot of people just started creating their own clicks and putting it out on CD and stuff like that. So that was kind of our blueprint. And my friend ended up going to jail, and then my other partner died, and I continued to hustle the streets of Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Boston, for about 2-3 years, pushing, you know, all of the work that we had made up to that point, which was like the CDs, the DVDs. And I basically took that strategy back. About 2006, I came to Chicago, and I took that same strategy back to Chicago. And it was also, too, like the television. Like, I used to network with public access and stuff like that, try to get my stuff played on TV. You know, all that stuff I learned on the East Coast. And then eventually when I came back to Chicago, I was basically moving it fast forward to a lot of the brothers around me because a lot of the brothers out here was stuck. They was, like, you know, part-time hustlers. Like, you know, like New York, they grind. That's what they do. They don't mess around. You know, so when I came out here, I was moving at a pace that a lot of brothers out here was like, yo, man, you just moving at light speed. But to me, I was just moving at a normal pace. You know, so that kind of, you know, went to my head a little bit because I was like, man, you know, I'm the shit. You know, because couldn't nobody do what I was doing. I was putting out CDs, you know, and then it was just the artwork. I could record my own music. I had my own website going. you know, and it was just all what we call, I learned eventually what I was learned to what we call Mason. You know, I was putting out Mason material, which is an avatar, you know, for that. But I didn't know this at the time, you know, and I was putting out, you know, music that was congruent to Lil Wayne, Rick Ross. I'm trying to think of the artists we used to say, Young Dro. I'm trying to think of these dudes' names. You know, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, T.I. I'm trying to think of that one song. It was a song T.I. on What You Know About That, What You Know About. I remember when that song that first came out. That was right when I hung out in Chicago. Right, and then that's a movie ATL had came out. And then they had that other song, Snap Your Fingers by Lil Jon. And, like, I remember those records. I used to make thousands of dollars off these records, like, just, you know, put on the mixtapes and going out in a matter of 2-3 days and just, you know, slinging these mixtapes. I would make thousands and thousands of dollars off these mixtapes. And, you know, and I didn't have no reason to study spiritual. Like, even though I was a spiritual person, I was into knowledge, I was into reading books. I didn't really have no reason because my life was moving so fast. I really didn't have no reason to even study spirituality, you know. And I thought that was life. I just thought that's what life was. Life was hustling. Life was about making money, you know, and the music I was listening to and stuff like that. I just thought that's what life was at the time. And then I met Poe. And then, you know, I didn't meet Poe. I knew Poe before I had moved to Rhode Island. When I came back, him and my brother used to be really good friends. And my older brother was one of the reasons why I started rapping and started making music and started doing all that. But he ended up going to jail. And but when I came back, him and Poe, just like they had always been hanging, they were still hanging, you know. And they Poe and my brother had like this language. It was like their own little language that they had, and I always thought they was crazy. And because I didn't understand it. And it kind of sounded like Wu-Tang, like when you hear Wu talking, they be calling each other God this, God that, and Ishala and, you know, Dunn. And, you know, they got their own language, you know, and, like, if you don't know it, you just don't know it, you know, and that's how Poe was with my brother. And, like, they had this little language where they would talk about this dude named Smith. And it was like everything was Smith, and it was Smith this and Smith that and Smith this. And keep in mind, like, when I got back to Chicago, along with the stuff that I was, along with the mixtapes and stuff I was selling, I also had started selling movies at the time because, like, in Chicago, the movie game was just ridiculous. Like, you could literally make $1,000 in one day selling movies in Chicago. So, like, I started selling movies. And at the time, when they started talking about all this Smith this and Smith that, I had a movie. It was called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was out with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. So I didn't know. I thought that's what they was talking about when they were saying Smith. You know, Smith this, Smith that. And I'm like, but could they say Mr. Smith? And so all this time, I'm thinking they talking about Mr. Smith from the movie, you know, with Angelina and Brad Pitt. And come to find out, what they was really talking about was the dude from the Matrix. He was Smith, you know, the Agent Smith from the Matrix, and how he was able to duplicate himself and jump from body to body, you know, through people. And I remember, like, they had set me that, like, I never used to listen to them. I used to think they was crazy. Like, I was like, man, them niggas is crazy. They just got their own language, and they you know, they just some crazy niggas. And then just one day, I sat down with Poe, and I just listened to him, and he just started explaining to me this concept of Smith and how Smith was just everywhere, and, like, motherfuckers didn't know that they were Smith. And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, whoa, wait a minute. And he was like, yeah. He basically told me that the Matrix was made by a black woman, and it was a divine message to the black man. And Neo was supposed to be played by Will Smith, and Neo was supposed to be black, but they made him white, so you didn't really realize that they was talking to you, you know. And it was really the movie of you, you know. And Smith was, you know, the distraction, the chaos, the, you know, the lower self entities, the people that's around you who don't know this, you know. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks one day. I was like, whoa, you know. And then we talked about it for a while, and it was other concepts that he introduced me to. And I went back and watched The Matrix again, and there was a lot of stuff in there that they said that, you know, I kind of knew from when I had first seen it, but, you know, all of a sudden I just had total clarity. And, you know, he started explaining to me, you know, just his ideology of comedic beliefs, you know, 0 through 9, the Netu Neter, but we call it Netu, which is also a big part of that, and just his whole science of life. And I thought it was sad that somebody that knew all that information didn't have no outlet to because I thought it was like, man, how could people not know this information? You know, and I felt that, you know, it had been brought to me, you know, with all the information I had studied on the East Coast and just on how to build websites and how to network and how to market and just at the same time keeping it hood. Like, we was just hood. Like, everything we did was hood. Like, we was right. Like, everything about what Hood X was at the time, and still is that we in the hood, we talk to the people who be broke, like the people who hustle, the people who ain't got nothing. Like, the people who be at Little Caesars buying little $5 pieces, you know, trying to feed, you know, 4 or 5 people in their crib. You know, like, the people who can't afford cable, they didn't cut their cable off. You know what I'm saying? They trying to buy some bootleg movies for $5, $10. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, them the people that I got in my phone. You know, like the common people, the folk, like in Chicago they call the folks, the common folk. You know, the regular hard working people. You know, they're just trying to, you know, get to the next day. And I felt that the message he was giving was an enlightening message that, like, if I could put that on wax the same way I put my music on wax, if I could develop a video the same way I developed the music videos, if I could, you know, if I'm good at this graphics, you know, I wanted to start using it to slowly start waking up people. Because I sold so many movies, I just sold so much music that is so destructive that I'm at a point now where I'm trying to reverse some of the damage, you know, because, and at the same time, I'm fully aware that, you know, that's what people want to see. You know, at the same time, I am fully aware that people want to see ignorance. People want to be entertained by nonsense, you know, and it does have a place. So, you know, I don't dismiss that either. But over time, what me and Poe started to develop was a synthesis of how to bring this language to life, how to bring this ideology to life, how to speak in a way, you know, huge concepts, life-changing concepts, but break them down to a synthesis where it's simple to understand. You know, by putting them into what we had avatars and lit.